Very quickly, I want to introduce the Nicholas. Say hello, Nicholas. Okay, put you down before you bite my face. Hello, BookTube. My name is Sarah, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm coming to you with my third book haul of 2017. Actually, book haul and unboxing. I've got an order that came in from Thrift Books, so I'm going to show you some of those as well. So I was actually really good over the last couple weeks. I didn't buy nearly as many books as I bought last book haul that I did, but let's jump in and get started. So the very first book that I got so far, or since my last book haul, was, sorry, I've got everything up here, was Riverbend Road by Rayanne Thane. This is book number 4 in the Haven Point series. I saw this come up as a Kindle Daily Deal, and I have book 2 in the series, so I decided to, of course, pick this one up. This is a contemporary romance about a female police officer and her relationship with her brother's best friend, who also happens to be the chief of police, so that should be pretty good. The next 2 books are both by the same author. The first is one, now these came up also on a daily deal. The first one I read years ago when it first came out, and it is called The Weight of Silence by Heather Gudenkoff, I believe is her last name. These are considered to be mystery thriller books, and this one was an absolutely fantastic story. I lent it to about 4 or 5 different people when I originally read it in paperback, and everybody who read it said it was absolutely fabulous. And it's about a young girl. It's about 6 years old or so, and she witnesses some terrible act happening that literally renders her speechless. And she becomes a mute, is it selective mute, where she chooses to not talk. Well, then one day, her and her little neighbor friend, they go out in the woods to go play and go missing. And it's now the story of trying to find these 2 little girls, and what happened years ago that rendered her mute comes into play into what's happening. So I am really, really looking forward to rereading this one, and I'm glad I was able to pick a copy up on ebook. The other one by the same author is called Missing Pieces, and this is the story. I wasn't too sure about what this one was about because I haven't read it, but it says a woman uncovers an earth-shattering secrets about her husband's family. So that sounds really good too. This is a really good author. I've read not only The Weight of Silence, but I also read One Breath, I think, which was about a school shooting. So she's a really great author. Highly recommend her if you can find these books. Check them out for sure. Next up is The Spring at Moss Hill by Carla Nagers. This is the 6th book in the Swift River Valley series. Again, I have a couple of these books already, so of course, if I can fill in the blanks, that's always a good thing. This is a romance novel about a children's book illustrator and a private detective. Interesting combination. I believe that he arrives in town to check out the town for a very, very wealthy and famous playwright, and he meets up with this children's book illustrator. So it sounds like it should be a lot of fun. Next up is a Harlequin Blaze novel called Free Fall by Karen Foley. This is about a Navy pilot who has a late night encounter on the beach with a woman, and of course what happens in the aftermath. Anything about, you know, a man in uniform is always good, even though in this cover he's not in uniform, but that's okay. So it's a Harlequin Blaze. This one should be a lot of fun. And then next up is Snow Angel Cove, also by Rayanne Thane. This is, where is the cover? This is actually book number 1 in the Haven Point series. I talked about one of the other books just a little bit earlier. This one I actually got for free using my Harlequin reward points. I noticed when I was looking at Amazon, or at Goodreads, excuse me, that I had like book 2, book 4, and I'm like, I don't have book number 1. So I used my points and purchased book number 1 off the Harlequin website. This is a story that actually takes place at Christmas time, if you can't tell on that beautiful cover. But this is about a woman ends up in a small town after a fire destroys everything in her life, essentially. So it sounds very, very interesting, and because it's a Christmas novel, you know it's going to be sweet and sappy, which is always fun. And then, speaking of Harlequin, on Friday they always do their buy 3, get 1 free sale. So I decided I don't do it every week. I do it maybe once or twice a month. So I decided to pick up a couple books this month. And or in this one, because they were also having, on top of the buy 3, get 1 free, 25% off everything on the site. So I got really good deals for these. So the first one I got is called The Groom Came Back by Abby Gaines. This is a story about, I think that the two of them got married for convenience purposes, and it was very, very quick. And then he takes off, and I don't know whether he's in the military or just works overseas. And he was overseas for 8 years and decides, you know what, it's time to get a divorce because, you know, they weren't even really supposed to be married in the first place, or not because they loved each other or anything. So then he comes back to get the divorce, and they end up rekindling their relationship. So it sounds like a lot of fun. The next one is a Harlequin romantic suspense novel, and that is called Bounty Hunter's Woman by Linda Turner. So there's the cover. This is a man is hired to protect a woman from a kidnapper. So that's really all I know about it, but that sounds enough for me to enjoy it. Linda Turner's a really great author. I know I've read her before because I remember the name because it's actually my mom's cousin's name, like same first and last name. And it was funny, I read one of her books many, many years ago. And I showed my mom and I'm like, when did your cousin start writing romance novels? So, you know, that was kind of fun. But ever since then, anytime I see a Linda Turner book, I immediately want to pick one up because I do know that they're very, very well written. And next up is a Harlequin, what used to be called the American Romance, which are now known as the Western Romance novels. And this book is called Baby on Board by Lisa Ruff. This is about a woman who's pregnant, and he gets her pregnant. And they say spends a lot of time at sea. So I don't know if he's a sea captain or a fisherman or in the Navy. It really doesn't allude to that on the back of the book. But I guess they're not really a couple, that it may be a one-night stand. And she's now looking for someone to be a good father for her baby. And he comes back and finds out she's pregnant and is like, hi, maybe me. So I think it's going to be an atypical romance novel, but I still think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the last book I want to talk about is Rocky Mountain Legacy by Lois Richer. This is a Harlequin or a Steeple Hill love-inspired novel, which means it's a Christian romance. And it is about a man who decides to plan his sister's wedding to keep her from eloping. And then he falls in love with the wedding planner. So it sounds like a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. And it looks like a great winter book. I don't think it takes place at Christmas, but it definitely looks like a really fun winter book. So maybe next year. We all know I have a lot of books, and you know, I love watching people's book hauls, and they're like, oh, and I'd love to get to this one next. I'm being honest. I know I'm not getting to this one anytime soon, but I just love buying books, especially when I get them on sale. So it looks like I'm playing the cut and paste game with this video because I put my phone down from when showing you guys the pictures, and I put it down right on top of my mouse, and it stopped the camera. So here we go again. Okay, so those were all the ebooks that I bought. So let's get into the unboxing now. As you see, I have opened these, but I haven't opened them. I just cut them open so I wouldn't have to sit here and do that on camera. So these are all from from thriftbooks.com, and I absolutely love thrift books. And as you guys know, the only physical books that I really do buy are my Back to My Childhood books. So let's see what I got. Fear Street. I believe this is the second book in the Fear Street series, The Overnight. So I'm very excited about having this one. And I do love the fact that most of these are typically the original printings of these books. Essentially, this is probably, looks like, you know, a scary book about a camping trip or something like that, so it should be a lot of fun. The next one is book number 10 in the Babysitter's Club series, and that is Logan Likes Marianne. Yep, love this one, and I now have up until book 12, continuous, so I really, really need to get back to picking these back up. I haven't picked up a Back to Your Childhood book. I was reading the first book in the Sweet Valley University series, College Girls, and I liked it. Sweet Valley University was a series I really didn't read a lot of, so I don't think I'm going to go back and pick it back up. I think I'm just going to, you know, donate back the few that I have. I only have like 2 or 3 of them to, you know, like my local Value Village. And just because I didn't really read that series when I was younger, I just happened to pick it up as well because I was reading all the other Sweet Valley series, well, except for Sweet Valley Kids. But, you know, that's just one I haven't really been enjoying. But I think I'm up to book 6 in the Babysitter's Club, so I might have to go on ahead and pick back up book number 6 and start reading that one because I missed this series. The next package here, it's a hardcover, and can any of you guys see which one it is? I'm sure most of you are familiar with this series, and this is The Mystery at Lilac Inn by Carolyn Keene, book number 4 in the original Nancy Drew series. So excited to get this on hardcover. I think that these ones are only published on hardcover. They had the originals, which are very hard to get, but then these are the reissued ones. But I don't care. That doesn't bother me. I got a really good deal on this. I think it was only $3 something. But yeah, like I said, I love thrift books because I am able to find pretty much everything that I'm looking for, and that makes me super duper happy. It is a little bit more expensive than going to the used bookstores and picking up the stuff off the shelves, but when you're trying to fill in series, this is an easier option, let's put it that way. And the last one is also a Nancy Drew book, and that is the Nancy Drew Files, case number 3, and that is Murder on Ice. And evidently it was originally 99 cents. Interesting. And when I say that, I mean this sticker right here. So whatever used bookshop somebody else got it from. So yeah, I mean, I just love these so much. This is such a throwback to my childhood for me, and I'm super excited about getting to this one as well. So anyway, guys, that was it for my book haul and unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them. And yeah, until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Bye.